Hey guys, Abby here from Ballerinas Tonight, and today I'm bringing you 3 tips for Nutcracker auditions. So I know a lot of people audition for Nutcracker as an adult. You also may have a child auditioning. So I wanted to go over a couple of things to just help this process out. Rule or tip number 1, please realize that your technique is something you've been working on all year and every year that you've been dancing. There's no crash course in the next couple of weeks before auditions that you can do to make something magically happen that isn't there yet. So be real with yourself, but not hard on yourself about where you are and what role you think you might be eligible for based on the technique that is required by that role. Obviously, the most technical parts of Nutcracker are probably snow core and flowers core. Some of the variations might be more technical depending on how your school or company does them, but some of them are also more character driven. So it just kind of depends what version of Nutcracker you're doing, what the choreography is. But you need to be really strong on point most of the time for snow and flowers, the way most companies do them. Rule or tip number 2, if there is a role that you're just like dying for, that it's, you know, your dream role, and if you have access to videos of past Nutcrackers from the company you're auditioning for, go get the DVD or the video or whatever and try and kind of learn the choreography ahead of time. Prepare yourself, be prepared. Sometimes if you've been in Nutcracker for years and years, you're like, man, I practically know every single role already. And that's great. That means you can walk in there. Because here's the thing. So the way a typical audition works is you just go in and take a class, and based on your classwork and your technique, they cast you in whatever role they think that you're kind of eligible for and strong enough for, what suits you. Nutcracker, many places usually, is a little bit different. And usually what they will do is have you do a little bit of a bar, warm up, and then teach you a little piece of, you know, most of the time the second act variations and whatever their choreography is. So if you're dying to be Spanish, then do your best to try and go back and learn Spanish, at least get a feel for it, and especially, this is going to lead me to rule number 3, tip number 3. Learn as much of the choreography as you can, but also be ready that if you go into the audition it may be different, because the minute you think they're going to do the exact same thing as last year, they may change it. But if you can at least like get a feel for what they've done in the past, it may be easier for you to pick up this year's choreography. Now, if you don't really have a preference, if you just kind of like want whatever role they give you, then rule number 3 is still going to apply. Rule or tip number 3, all about characterization. Nutcracker, not completely unlike a traditional ballet, but to the extreme more than a traditional ballet, the second act is all about the characterization. If you are trying to go for Arabian, they want to see you be able to act the part of the Arabian. If you want to do Spanish, they want to see you become the role of Spanish. So you have to think much more, and especially, you know, let's just say somebody watching this video wants to go over Clara. I know most of us as adults aren't going to go for Clara, but again, just for any students or daughters we have out there, if you're going for the role of Clara, acting is a lot of times going to be as important as technique, or even more important, because you're going to have to get out there and really become the role. And you can be a really gorgeous dancer, but if you don't go into the audition and show them how you can use your face, how you can become that character right away, then it's going to hurt your chances. And I've seen many times where a more technical dancer has been passed over for the dancer that just goes and can really act the part immediately. So, who's auditioning for Nutcracker? Let me know if you think these tips have helped. They're fairly obvious, I think, but if you haven't just been doing Nutcracker auditions a lot, then hopefully this kind of helps you. As I say, most of the time you're going to go in, you're going to learn little bits and pieces of different things. Have fun with it. Don't stress over your technique. Your technique is what you've been working on every day up until now. It is what it is. You can't crash course in it. And most of the time, if this is a place you dance with regularly, they're gonna pretty well know what you can do technically. So don't stress about every little, turn or piece of point work or anything like that. Do the best you can in a nice, relaxed way. Perform. Show them that you can go out there and dance, because they can fix little technical things if they believe that you are strong enough for the role, and if they've seen in your classwork that you can do the steps required. Then they're not going to look at you at the audition and say, well, they didn't do this one little technique thing properly, so we're not going to cast them in that. They know they can fix that, but it's much harder to fix the face and the performing and the being fabulous on stage. So go show them that part of you, have tons of fun, and come back and report to us what you're dancing. Remember that every role is a good role. Every role is loads of fun. And the older I get, the more I realize that some of the times I really stressed out about what role I was. I should have just relaxed, because it's all pretty fun. It's all getting out in an awesome costume, getting to perform, and having a great time. You will be so glad in December that you had the experience. And so let us know here, like some comments below, how it goes and what you get, or if you're auditioning. Remember to find us on Instagram, Ballerinas by Night, as well as Facebook and our blog. Subscribe, hit the bell. I think I was supposed to say at the beginning something about a bell. And that's all for today. Bye.